Afternoon, folks. Brian here, Geomagnetic Earth Watch on Sunday, February 11, 2024. Hope you're all well. Enjoy your wellness right now. These things are going to be changing in a couple of days. We now have the information coming in from the coronal mass ejections that's going to be impacting our planet. However, it looks like we have 5, 3 of which are going to be strong. Let's go through the numbers. So I'm just going to let this run for a bit. So we have 3 small ones. Maybe even 4. This would be the Earth-facing one we had not too long ago. And you know what? It is irrelevant which one of these came from which region. It doesn't matter right now. The fact that it's going to be impacting us does. So if you look on the column on the left here, the plasma density, the amount of charged particles coming in, we're right at the top, the black section. See if I can zoom this in for you. Then we'll go through the timing. So you have about 4 smaller ones first. So one starts off with a high density. Then it begins to dissipate before it hits us. And more or less, they're going to hit us about the same time. It's going to be running for a couple of few hours. Dead on, Earth facing. Now remember, I did this a couple of days ago for something else that happened, and I told you it was going to change. All right, so it has changed. So I'm going to read off the timing as I let this play. So the coronal mass ejection impact is going to start Tuesday the 13th at 0300 UTC. So I will always, you have to Google it yourself. This is actually going to be the Australia region. So I'm on west coast of North America. I'm -8 hours. It's going to peak Tuesday the 13th at 0500. We actually have a double peak. So you know what? I'm just going to take this timing together from 0500 to 1300 or 1 p.m. UTC. It'll start to descend and end at Tuesday 13th, 1 p.m. UTC. Once again, let's pay close attention to the plasma density, the strength, the weight. I'm trying to use terms that the common person will understand. The solar wind speeds will be peaking to about 550 kilometers per second. Before I carry on, I'd like to use this picture analogy of what's involved here. Very simple, but very basic. So the handgun is our sun. when a flare goes off, the light that we see on the videos that I show you from SDO satellites, the actual light of the flare is the muzzle flash of the firearm. The actual flash that we see. The hard X-rays traveling at the speed of light takes only 8 minutes to reach us. If there's an associated coronal mass ejection expelled from the muzzle of the gun or the sun, this is the gas cloud. This is the plasma cloud containing billions of tons of the highly charged particles and entangled magnetic field. We have 2 or 3 of these. We actually have about 5, but the hard hits, we have 2 or 3 hard hits coming in. Now, sometimes we have what's called a halo coronal mass ejection enveloping the circumference of the sun. So this gas here, discharge, could be considered a halo, CME, around the sun. But what's important is we have multiple rounds coming in. We have a rapid fire coming in there, folks. Now, so far, folks, we've only gotten very slight, light love taps on the side of the planet head from the wife. So far, unfortunately, this is going to change. Fortunately for us there, folks, this is what we're going to get in a couple of days. But we have a number of wives, and they're going to be coming at us full strength, head on, direct earth facing. Now as for a sneak attack bow shock coming up on the backside of the earth, and whatever else the sun might spit off between now and the 13th. Watch your back, men. So there's always new people here to the channel as well as to Space Weather. I like to use these pictorials so you get an idea of just how bad, or not, in this case bad, it's going to end up being. So once again, let's quickly go through the effects, the biological effects of space weather events on us inhabitants. So when you introduce, so first of all, some of our critical organs in our body operate off of electrical impulses as well as chemical processes, but electrical impulses. So when you introduce a charge of particles, highly charged particles, protons, we begin to malfunction in different ways. So let's start from the top, the head. Neurological, these things that we can feel, in which every time you people report to me. Neurological, so we can experience headaches, migraines, including those who are not predisposed to having migraines and headaches. It can be a frontal lobe, pressure, temporal stabbing, compression, dizziness, vertigo, feeling of unwell, tinnitus, ringing in the ears, high-pitched ringing, visual problems. We can also have joint pain, especially those of us who have arthritis, skin irritations, burnings, gastrointestinal issues, more importantly, heart issues, palpitations, arrhythmias. Please watch the people who have any cardiac conditions, multiple sclerosis, arthritic flare-ups can be triggered. Just general feeling of fatigue, exhaustion, lethargy, sleep issues. Now the neuropsychological effects. Mood swings, irritable, argumentative, easily triggered, emotional, increased sensitivity, confusion, anxiety, worrying, depression, sadness, despair. You can either have racing thoughts or your brain just shuts down and you have brain fogging. It can be behavioral changes, outbursts. Rage, violence. There's increased admissions to hospital psych wards. Increased incidence of suicides or suicide thoughts are quite common. Changes to your cognitive ability. So your cognitive function is your ability to learn, memorize, problem solve, reasoning. These can be affected. As I so often also include, those with mental health issues can be amplified. Autistic spectrum disorder, ADHD, schizophrenia, the whole list, all of it. I find from personal observational experience and management, anything on G2 or higher, moderate geomagnetic storm can trigger psychosis, psychotic event, rage, extreme violence. They don't know what they're doing. Increased incidence of road rage, airline flight, problems with passengers. So I'm going to continue this in a minute. Let's go to show you the day side of the impact. So once again, the day side impact is going to be the area of and surrounding Australia. Day side impact. Then it will continue to the Atlantic Ocean, or actually more or less Africa. So dayside impact is going to be, the focal point is going to be around here once again, to Africa. So the second or the third from the last time when we had a dayside impact into this region here, we had the earthquake in the Philippines approximately 24 hours later. So once again, the highly charged particles can be absorbed through Earth's crust. And quite commonly, shortly afterwards results in the earthquake, substantial, or volcanic eruption. The timing, anywhere from 12 to 72 hours after absorption. Philippines has had a series of large earthquakes, so about maybe 3 large earthquakes ago, or 2. That was 24 hours after a CME impact, coronal mass ejection. Now, I also showed you a list of last year's magnitude 7+ earthquakes. There were 24, 17 of which followed these coronal mass ejections. So I would consider this a heads up to those areas most commonly struck with earthquakes. Maybe an increase around Australia, such as there has been. It might start off in the Samoa, Solomon Islands regions, around there. Papua New Guinea, working its way to the Banda Sea, Indonesia itself, Philippines. So once again, there are some papers on the effects of the highly charged particles on the brains. A lot of professionals, one of them is here, they like to see these papers from their peers, peer-reviewed. We are our own peers. We report to each other what we feel when we get hit. So starting from what was the timing that I said? So starting on Tuesday, 0300 hours. Let's try and be nice to our fellow men and women. Hey, I was an asshole once, and I'm changing. He's watching me. Be nice to each other on Facebook. So try and plan. So we have this information now. Plan your day starting from Monday evening until, let's just say Wednesday. Try and plan and have a relaxing day. Don't get into arguments with your spouse, which can be amplified and you don't realize it. If you have something on your list to discuss with your spouse or whoever, put it off for a while. You know, financial matters, budgets, whatever. Leave it alone for a while. Because we're going to get bombarded. We can be easily triggered. Pay attention to any of the loved ones or family, friends, co-workers who have cardiac conditions, high blood pressure, mental health illnesses. And I repeat, try not to get any confrontation or arguments with people because it could elicit unfavorable responses. Frying pan wise. Anything changes, you know I'll be back. I'll be back.